Hari Om. Start with the prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitattvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhatvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We have completed the 10th chapter of Panchadasi. I'm going to take some general topics, and first topic I thought I should cover is how to succeed in life. Now, this is a very interesting topic, and if you go to Google and ask for how to succeed in life, there are different types of information you can get, and there are talks also, some on Vedantic basis, some on the materialistic basis or a general basis. So even if you ask for Google, so how to succeed and so on, you get many articles on that. So everybody has a recipe for success. Now the question we always ask is, before we go into question of how to succeed in life, we need to have clear understanding what success really means. And of course this is for the people who are living. So life we know, but life itself involves activity. Action is involved. So nobody can stop from doing any action, however great he may be. Even sitting down, he has to still breathe, and if he has to maintain the body requires a food and whatever the requirements are. So physiological functions will still go on, and maintenance will go on, and any effort on his part in order to live in this life, because man is a gregarious animal, but he lives in the society, he has to depend on so many people for his survival. He needs a shelter, he needs a food, and basic things in life are needed for everybody. So what exactly is a success? So success, if you look at in the Google, success depends upon what you want to achieve. And before we go into details, let's look at more general aspect of it. So should we listen to the materialistic people, or should we listen to the spiritual people who define success in a different way? So now I'm going to classify this essentially 4 types of people in general. So if you look at across the board, before we can think of, since success depends upon an individual, so we have 4 classification of people. One is pure materialistic people. Let's call them as atheists. And these are people who do not believe in something higher. The life itself is the worth living, and they want to succeed in life. And we'll come to that level first. And first we'll go through the classification. The second set of people are the materialistic religious people. The other ones are materialistic atheist people. They are not religious, and they have their own religion. Atheism is also a kind of religion where I don't believe in God, so he believes that there is no God. Other fellow believes that there is a God. This fellow believes that there is no God. Both are beliefs only. And he lives, this is the beginning of life, and he is more scientific, he thinks also, and he is more rational also. He goes by logic and whatever that normal people go through. Normal means majority belonging to this materialistic people. They may have atheists, some are agnostics also. Agnostic means they don't care whether the God is there or not. Right now I'm not bothered about it. I don't bother him and he doesn't bother me. So that is the attitude of an agnostic. Atheists, I don't, in fact, they vehemently criticize people who are theists. And the one who believes in these are all beliefs and dogmas and all that, he has his own opinion about other people. Whether he has his own dogmas, that's a separate question we will ask again. And these are first two categories: materialistic, non-religious people. And the second category is materialistic, religious people. Both are materialistic, but one is religious. Religious in the sense that there is something other than this life. That's what we call it, religious. Either a life after or life before or life is continuous. All other theories, opinions can differ, but in principle he goes beyond the body, mind, intellect complex alone. The materialistic people have the different categories, only body level, body mind level, and body mind intellect level also. These are, we have atheists at the intellectual atheists, and other case don't care. This is the life, that's the end of it. They live for the current situation only. So we have materialistic, non-religious people, and that includes atheists, agnostics, and so on. And we have religious, materialistic, religious people. And we go to third level, we have religious, you can add materialistic also. Religious, materialistic people are spiritual seekers or spiritual religious people. The spiritual religious people, you need a religion for spirituality, you need a spirituality for religion. Anyway, that's a separate topic, but right now the third category is they are spiritual seekers. And the fourth category is those who have realized, or those who are mumukshu, those who have great sages or wise people according to scriptures, or they are realized soul, or jnanis. In the terminology of Vedanta, we call it jnani. So this is a type of one classification. Krishna has his own classification. He says 4 types of people come to me: artho, artharthi, jignasu, jnanim cha bharatarshava. So that's essentially chaturvida bhajante mam. They worship me because they are all come under materialistic religious people. He has classified 4 people there. But we are talking about materialistic atheist also as another classification, which the Krishna doesn't list them, and we'll see why later. But this is the 4 types of people. So materialistic atheist people is not nothing to do with the current scientists and logicals and all that. We have them even in the ancient times. They are called Charvakas. According to Vedanta, Charvakas are people who live at that stage only. They believe the feeding the body is most important. So sense enjoyment is what is required. Whole life is maximize your sense enjoyment. That itself, and the one who was proposing is called Mahatma also, Charvaka Mahamuni. So we respect all religions, including atheism also. So atheism is not new to Hinduism. So we don't call it Hinduism, but it's a part of the darshana. Hinduism is a word coined by the Westerners. Ours is called Sanatana Dharma. Anyway, so what is success will vary depending upon the classification of these 4 sets of people. Have different the category of what is success. So we'll first take in this talk from the point of general, what is a materialistic success people. So what is materialistic success people? What they want is, they want to maximize their material benefits. So more I have is more I am. More I am, because I am looking for happiness. So the conclusion is, I am not happy as I am, therefore I am looking for. If I am already happy, then why should I look for happiness? So I am not happy with what I have. So I have a goal in mind. And whenever I fulfill the goal, so that's my desire. I want to have a desire to have a house, or desire to get married, or desire to have something. So you have particular desires throughout life, what you don't have, and therefore you want to fulfill that, and success is measured in terms of fulfillment of the goal that you wanted. Why you want it? Because that's what gives you happiness. So that's why you like it. So like is that which gives you happiness. If it gives unhappiness, you won't like it. And these people are going after things that brings them happiness. So there is no problem in that. That's how whole life is also. So the goal-oriented people. So if I have a goal, how do I succeed to get it? If it is small desire, if suppose I have a desire for a cup of coffee, then I have to go get up and make cup of coffee, and I need to have all the ingredients necessary to have a coffee. If I don't have it, I have to go to shop and buy it, or I have to go to coffee shop and drink there. So in order to fulfill the materialistic desire, action is required. Action appropriate for the result that I want. It has to be clear, right? So this is all common sense only. So any action that is required is effort is required. Effort required means I have to do something. So I cannot sit here and say I want a cup of coffee and keep imagining cup of. I may be imagining only, I won't get a cup of coffee. So in order to go and in order to gain something in the life, first thing I need is work has to be done to accomplish it. Because the desire is involving something that I do not have it, and to get it I need to make an effort. So my desire is to go to some place, then I have to make an effort appropriate to the goal. So I should know what are the appropriate means to get the end goal. So that common sense is required. So if I want to have something, so like suppose I have a stone in my hand and I want to throw it, there is no problem, I can throw it. But I want to, I'm sitting in Chennai, Madras right now, so I want this stone to go all the way to Bangalore. Bangalore is about 200-300 kilometers from Chennai. So I want to throw it, but I want that, my desire is that if the stone has to reach all the way to Bangalore, then I am happy. So that is a desire-oriented action that I am doing. But you may laugh at me and says, how can you throw your stone all the way to Bangalore? Because the result, the action that I am performing is not sufficient to give the result that I want. Which means that I should know what the result, what the goal is, what is my appropriate action for me to succeed. So any goal requires an appropriate means to arrive at. This is what I am trying to arrive at. So to succeed something, how to succeed is the topic. To succeed something, I should have a clear understanding of the goal, and also I should have the clear means of availability. There may be several means of doing that, but I should know what is that which is that I can do. There may be several ways of doing what I want, but I need for my point, I need to have appropriate means, and I should have the capability to utilize those means. So if I have to go all the way, walk all the way, or if I want to reach Bangalore from Chennai, there are several ways of doing it. I can fly from Chennai to Bangalore, there are flights. I can go by train, there are trains. I can go by car if I have a car, or I can even walk also if I have capability. Each has its own requirements to fulfill. To fly, I need to have proper resources to fly. There should be flights, and also I should have enough money to buy the ticket required. Financial support is required to gain what I want. And to go by train, I have to make proper reservation and proper all requirements are required. The money may not be as much as a flight, but if I have to go to first class, if I need a reserve plot, I need AC, or I need a general, depending upon that, I have to make appropriate reservations, and planning is required and effort is required. Not only the planning, execution is required. Execution appropriate to reach the goal. All this is, we all know common sense. So I want to succeed is one desire, but the desire, in order to fulfill, there is several other requirements, because effort is important, action is important, and action that which is, if it's action oriented result, because reaching somewhere, getting something, so on, they are action oriented. If it is not action oriented, because there are things that are not action oriented, the result is not action oriented. For example, I want to know I want to learn Sanskrit, let's say, or I want to learn chemistry, or I want to learn physics. So there is an action involved for me to make an effort towards that, and to approach an appropriate teacher to teach me, or I can go to library and, if I can, study and learn myself, if I have the capacity for that. All these things are my effort, but in this there are factors that are beyond my control. That's why I call depends on the teacher, depends on the knowledge, and so many other factors that I have no control on. So now we are bringing a second factor in success. One is my effort. Number one, clear understanding of the goal. Number two, my clear understanding of the means to get the goal. This is the second aspect. The third aspect is my effort in selecting the proper means and executing the means. Execution. And there are factors that result that will come back, but there are also goals which are not completely action oriented, that we gave you jnanam. Jnanam means knowledge. Knowledge is not purushatantram. Purushatantram is that I cannot will the knowledge on me. I cannot demand, let chemistry come to me, because I am sitting here opening my chemistry, teacher is teaching and all that. It doesn't depend on me, it depends upon the teacher who is teaching, which I have no control. And therefore it is vastu tantram. Therefore I have to have a preparation of the mind enough to receive that knowledge also. So now, depending upon the nature of the goal, I had to have appropriate, not only physical but even mental, the requirements are there in order to fulfill the desire that I have, or to gain what I want. This has to be understood. So even though it is a materialistic, we call materialistic something objectifiable. That's our definition of materialistic. And that which the materialistic people want mostly happiness. Everybody wants happiness, by the by. Everybody wants goal because they want to be happy. And the bottom line is they have decided they are unhappy as they are. Therefore they want something else, and therefore they have established a goal. I am going to be happy if I get that. That's my goal. So a student wants to know, I want to finish this course first class, then I am happy. Or I want to pass, that's another student. So his different levels of the requirements for him. So the more higher the goal, higher should be my effort to reach the goal, because I am at the bottom place and the goal is higher. So I had to plan properly in order to accomplish that. These are some of the things that we are familiar, and the materialistic people, success depends upon how much material you have. or how much things you have. For a person who wants only in terms of wealth is his material, the more wealth he has, more successful he thinks he has. And he has, depending upon the goal that I will say, I have thousands, I want a million. I want to make a million, then only I'm happy. So he want to become a millionaire, so his efforts is how to get the million. There are means to get a million. There is a proper means, dharmic way of getting. There is an adharmic way of getting. So many ways are there. So depending upon my attitude and the vision of life, says no, I want only dharmic way of doing. I don't want any trouble with anybody, with the law and all that. Then I want to succeed that way. That is one kind of satisfaction of reaching a goal. And once I reach the million, then I want to be billion and so on. So my happiness depends upon more I have, then more I am going to be happy. So in the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a degree of happiness is being provided. It says there's one man happiness, one person, 1 unit of, they have 1 unit of happiness. Let me put it that way. 1 unit of happiness. What's 1 unit of happiness? The person who desired to have the whole world under his control. That means he is an emperor of the whole world itself. So he has everything. But he not only has everything, and he can enjoy also, because he is young enough that he can digest a lot of food and enjoy what the whole world can provide for at a different sense levels. Sense level, at the body level, at the mind level, at the intellect level, all he has. And if he has that, we call him an hypothetical case, because we don't have anybody who owns the whole world. Because we already have different countries, and each one thinks that there is a big shot in each country. One who thinks a prime minister, he is a big shot. One who thinks a chief minister, he thinks he is a big shot. All big shots are there, particularly in India. We call it, oh, he's a very big shot, whatever that means. So these goals are achievable by either in terms of the wealth wise. So even if I have wealth, if I don't have health, then I have a problem. There's a saying that a man is very funny because he wants the wealth, so he struggles hard whole life, even sparing his own health to get the wealth. Then after he gets the wealth, what happens? By the time he is old and his health is deteriorating, so he has to use the wealth in order to get the health again, which he cannot get, of course. So he can neither get wealth properly, he is healthy but without wealth, or wealthy without health, and all that. So when I was first time when I went to United States, the Howard Hughes was there. He was still living at that time. He is a multi-billionaire, but he has to live in the 41st or 42nd floor because he has some kind of disease where the contact with the world brings the disease to a terrible problem. So he has to be sterilized. Everybody who goes there has to be sterilized properly in order to deal with him. So he was in a miserable state in the 40th, but he is a multi-billionaire. That all that wealth has not helped him to be happy. He was in a miserable state also with all the wealth. So anyway, that's a Howard Hughes. That's a real story of a multi-billionaire. But those who do not have wealth, they want millions. And that's why we have not only proper means of gaining wealth, because you may not get proper means, and some people get by improper means. There is the Microsoft, the owner of Microsoft, you all know, and says he apparently he's a dropout from the college. So everybody gives a quotation, says even though he's a dropout, he made it. That doesn't mean that all the dropouts will make it. So not every dropout will make it, and everybody who made it need not be dropout also. So dropping out has helped him to change his perspective and went after success in a different way. So for how to succeed, first you have a clear goal itself and clear means to understanding of the means to achieve whatever the means, and to get less problems, if you follow a dharmic way. Dharmic means don't step on everybody's feet in order to get, because everybody wants the same thing. So dharma means by proper, appropriate legal means, at least let's call it a legal means of, so that the local laws will not be obstructing your progress. So a means to achieve it, and then most important is discipline of the mind. So for one, materialistic people, they have a determination to achieve it, then only get it. If you don't have a determination, you cannot succeed. So how to succeed requires, from your point, a disciplined life itself. And in the process of gaining that, you should have a clear vision of the goal itself and never lose sight of the goal. Because one who is successful is only a clear aim is that required, and all things have to be adjusted to get the goal, because everyone gets distracted all the time. Things will be pulling in different directions, but if I have that and that goal, all other things become secondary. That's called prioritizing the life. So for me to succeed, I should have a clear understanding of the goal, I should understand the means of it, then I had to put a self-effort. That means I need to be disciplined is required, and in the process I need to withdraw my mind from all other pursuits other than this goal. So any other pursuit that helps this goal, then I have to use it. They are called secondary goals. So in order to reach that goal, I have to do something else, then I have to do that because my vision is that, and this also become a part of means to achieve that. So I need to have a disciplined mind, and I need to have a clear vision of the goal, whatever the goal may be. I want to have a first class, that is my vision. Then I have to study hard and also see and the next environment, the next thing is I have to adjust the environment. Environment, because environment is, everybody wants to study, but I may not have all the things that are required for me to spend my time in the study. There are dissipating factors that is coming, that I had to do this, I had to do that, I had to do that. Then if I have to do it, then I have to do it. There's nothing else I can do. I had to do it, but I had to program myself, adjust myself so that my goal is not missed in the process of where I have to do certain things. So environment need to be adjusted in terms of the space wise and the time wise. So if my goal is study hard, and I cannot study during daytime because I have to do this work, I have to do this so many, then I have to do whatever minimum what need to be done and concentrate whatever the time available on that goal only, without dissipating. That means I have to withdraw from other engagements which are not necessary, which are secondary, and therefore I can redirect the mind to achieve the goal. So he says, if you go to some talks and that he says, infinity is your, there is no limit for you, have the highest goal. If I can't reach the finite, how can I reach infinity? In fact, you cannot reach the infinity. What they mean is, you can aspire very high, but you have to go step by step. Infinity is, I want to become a trillionaire, but I don't have even thousands here. First aspire to become a lackey or a millionaire, and then go to a croropati or crores, and so on. Go step by step so that you have a proper means of desire fulfilling. And in this materialistic approach, remember, you have to make an effort to get it. So the younger you are, you will be able to do it if it is action oriented. If it is a knowledge oriented, then you have to approach a proper teacher in order to gain this particular knowledge, and again make an effort to understand what is required. So jnanam also requires an effort, a proper study, proper environment. So in order to succeed, not only you should have a goal, not only you should have a proper plan, not only you have a determination and you are ready to work, at the same time you depend upon something that you cannot control too much, that is environment. And also you depend upon people that you have no control on. So you have to make a best use of the available resources, whether the financial resources or the resources of the materialistic type of resources. Whatever the resources are available, you have to adjust it, because your vision should be there in order to gain that. It may take a longer if the environment is not conducive enough for you to achieve. But as long as you have goal oriented, whether it's take 1 year or 2 years or 10 years, you will achieve, provided you have the determination. And interesting thing is, if you have that goal and the drive for it, the goal itself will give you the energy for you to gain that. It means the reciprocal facility is there, in the sense that it is a part of Lord creation, whether you accept the Lord or not. The goal itself provides you the motivation for you, because you have loved it so much. The love for the goal will give you the driving force in order for you. You may be weak, you may be this, but you will try to determine what it is. And if you see a lot of success people in the world, they may not have the really required facilities. I want to give some simple example. There was a lady, if you go to Google also you can find it. I don't want to mention the names and all that. She was actually a laborer carrying the bricks for a construction. She was a young lady, and maybe she got married and she didn't work out, and she was trying to support herself, but she has a desire to at least better herself. So somehow she facilitated herself with whatever the income to go to evening classes to learn computer science. And slowly she picked up, along with the language, along with the English and necessary things. And now she is in the California CEO of a multi-billionaire industry related to the software. She was originally a laborer somewhere in Andhra actually, but now she is in California, she's a billionaire. How did she become? It is a self-driven approach. The desire to succeed is there, and effort is there, discipline is required, and also she didn't have this environment conducive also, but she had the necessary drive, and the goal itself provided the environment. There's another case of is actually the hair cutter, saloon owner, and he was cutting only hair for people, but he wanted to make money, and slowly whatever the money, the income he was getting, he saved off of it and started a business of renting the car for people, and now he has he's a billionaire with many Cadillacs that he is renting, and a business is roaming in Bangalore actually. I met him also, and at the same time he doesn't say this is my profession. He still cuts haircut. He does haircut also, because that is the profession that helped me to become a millionaire also. So he has no, this is a smaller job and that is a bigger job. He doesn't have any distinction like that. Any job is a big job if he has to do properly, clearly, and people want to listen to him and go to his haircut salon. At the same time, he is a billionaire renting and managing someone. So you have a financial management is required, people management is required. All that is required for a materialistic success in the world. There is no shortcuts here. Nobody just becomes somebody unless your father has millions and you hand it over to you. If you want to succeed in life, how to succeed in life? You have to succeed in life. Number one, goal is required. Number two, understanding the means to achieve the goal should be understood properly. Number three, you should have the discipline to accomplish that, and then you have to make an effort in order to achieve it. And you should have the single pointed goal in order to accomplish that. Then only you have to be successful. You can have a higher goal, and as one speaker says in the Vedanta talks, if you go how to succeed, your goal can be infinite itself, even though you cannot reach infinity, because finite cannot reach infinity. The infinite is the available source, and that's why in the Taittiriya Upanishad it says what is the one unit of happiness. We gave already example, and there are degrees of happiness one can get by materialistically fulfilling the goals. And that's how to succeed in life. You should have, number one, clear goal and drive towards to achieve that goal, and proper means to achieve the goal, and the discipline also. This will go into the next level of talk in terms of how to succeed for materialistic religious people. We just covered materialistic atheist people, how to succeed. Now in the next talk we will talk about those who are interested. We will talk about materialistic but religious people. That we will discuss in the next talk later. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.